first thing Ethan noticed was the mirror. The Uber was gliding down a deserted highway just after midnight, rain whispering across the roof, wipers moving in slow, tired arcs. Sodium streetlights passed overhead, pouring dull orange light into the car in rhythmic pulses. Ethan sat in the back seat, shoulders tense, phone glowing in his hand. He glanced up at the rearview mirror out of habit. The driver's seat was occupied, but the mirror showed nothing. No face, no eyes, no hint of a person behind the wheel. Just the empty outline of the seat's headrest and darkness beyond it. Ethan blinked, looked again. The driver's silhouette was clearly there in front of him, hands on the wheel, shoulders rising with steady breathing. Yet the mirror refused to acknowledge him. The light from passing street lamps slid across every surface inside the car except where the driver's reflection should have been. A chill crept across Ethan's skin. He shifted slightly, testing another angle. Still nothing. Not even a blur. The rain outside grew heavier, drumming against metal like impatient fingertips. The car smelled faintly of cold air and something sterile, like a hospital corridor. No music played. No radio chatter. Only the hum of the engine and the swish of water against tires. Ethan reminded himself this was ridiculous. Mirrors could distort. Lighting could trick the eyes. Fatigue could warp perception. He had booked this ride after finishing a late shift at a downtown arcade. He had checked the license plate. The app confirmed the ride. Everything had been normal, until now. He lifted his phone and opened the camera, pretending to check the route. The front-facing camera reflected the car's interior. His own uneasy expression, the back window dotted with rain, the empty-looking front seat. No driver. His fingers tightened around the phone. His heart tapped against his ribs a little too fast. inside the car shifted. Ethan's ears rang softly. The rain outside faded into a distant whisper. His chest tightened as though invisible hands were closing around his ribs. Images flickered across his mind. Endless roads, abandoned vehicles, glowing phone screens showing completed rides, empty backseats, drivers with no faces, passengers